What's going on, everyone? It's DV, and today I'm going to be showing you how to AFK farm Wizard Boss. Now, you can also do this on a couple other mobs, but they kind of get a little problematic, especially depending on what you're doing and how close you are and some other variables. But I won't get into those just now. I will explain that in a little bit. But before I begin, if you could do me a huge favor and hit that like button and smash the subscribe button if you are new to the channel. We're so close to 200,000 subs. I think by the time you actually watch this video, we might even be at 200,000 subs. That'd be crazy. But anyway, so my friend Beef Plays actually just covered this, oddly enough. He just covered this. Coincidentally, I was planning on the same video. I actually got this idea from the Dog King on April 25th, and I announced on my Discord on the 26th that I would actually be doing this video. It's just totally coincidental. So all good there. So let's go ahead and jump into this. First up, you do need this thing. This is the best AFK farm weapon you have in your arsenal, and this is the only one you're going to actually be able to use. The other thing you're going to need is another computer or device, okay? So you're going to need some other kind of device, and the reason why you need a separate device is that thing needs to be macroed because one player actually has to spawn the boss, right? So without someone spawning the boss for you, what's going to happen is you're going to have to macro movement where you actually have to run back out to the gate and then run back in to your spot where you're actually going to attack the boss. Then you have to run it back, and then you have to run it back here. And that macro is going to be really unpredictable because at what point do you run back, right? You got to pretty much assume that you killed the boss. So you're going to have like a 10-minute plus macro of you actually at the end running back and then actually spawning it over and over and over and over and over. And how do you know when you actually are ready to spawn? You're going to have an even longer macro. So you're going to count, up to the 45 minutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to separate those threads completely. And this character here, my main, is responsible for killing the boss. And my alt, Mr. Firefly Cow here, is responsible for spawning the boss. That's why you need two devices. You can use a mobile phone. You can use another computer. Ideally, another computer would be best. So if you have like another computer laying around or a laptop or something, pretty much that's what I'm doing is I have a laptop and I have a computer. And a lot of households actually have two computers. You just have to kind of nudge the other person. Hey, dude, can I borrow your computer overnight? Especially when other people are sleeping. This is the best time to do it. Is if the entire family, if you're in a household with multiple computers, maybe the family's going to be okay with you borrowing the computer for, just a few hours, 4 or 5 hours, just so you can, experiment this yourself. Now, if you only have a phone and a computer, then that would work fine too. You can also use like an Android tablet. Now, if you're on iOS or an iPad, you're going to need that little device that I posted a video on yesterday. Key to that, by the way, is the auto clicker cannot spawn, okay? So your computer is going to be the one that has to actually hit that key, because I actually experimented already with that, trying to spawn the boss with that auto clicker, and it just doesn't work. You got to actually use that auto clicker for the attacks like this, and whatever other device needs to have the ability to macro, okay? Because you have to hold down. So I'm going to show you that now. So let's go. First, I'm going to actually do a tour real quick and explain each of these bosses and why you can or cannot AFK farm them. So first, coming over to the Slime King boss here over here. The main issue with this guy, and I've already experimented, I did it the other day, and I experimented on this, and the problem is that he actually does a knockback. So I'll actually show you real quick. But the problem with this guy is, you're like this and you attack him, right? And then he's going to knock you back. And often you're just going to be changing position. See how he's pushing me? And you're just not going to be able to kill him fast enough. Sometimes he ragdolls you completely first hit. So even though he didn't do much to me just now, I've had it where I just walk in and he just ragdolls me across the screen. He actually yeeted me almost off the map once too. So totally unpredictable, unreliable, not the best one to AFK. Plus, why would you want to AFK farm that? That's only like, he's so quick. And you could actually just use a bunch of alts to keep spawning him if you don't really need any kind of levels. You just need a fresh account. Now, as far as the golem down here, I'm going to show you the diamond mines guy. This guy is a big pain. You could technically do it, but he can also swing at you and knock you out of the map. And the obvious problem there is if you're overnighting this, your character's position is going to continue to change, right? So I don't think this one's going to be doable AFK. It's entirely possible, but you have to kill him quick. So your damage is going to have to be so much higher than it is currently. And, like I said, that one swing that he does at you can actually knock you out of the map, because anything that's going to be able to move or displace your character is going to be a problem for you. All right, so I'm summoning the core. Now imagine your alt summons him and you're just sitting right here, right? You're already damaging him while he's coming up, and you're going. And if my character moves one bit, then I'm in trouble, right? So I'm just going to pretty much just keep clicking this. And if he swings at me and knocks me out, so I don't mind this. This is fine. I can actually handle this. So if all he does are these two attacks, I'm in good shape. And honestly, like, there's no knockback with this. And chances are are, this is all he's going to do. There's a good chance this is all he can do. I mean, because he likes to do this when you're up close to him. So if you're really close to him on his spawn, you could probably do this over and over and over. The problem is, why would you want to do this unless you're just farming shards? Because his reward is actually in the diamonds. And when, you know, he's done, wouldn't you want to actually go run over to the ore and like mine it up? So I don't know. This just doesn't seem like practical at all. But like I said, if you're, you know, farming for shards, then maybe. I don't know. So we're going to go head over to Wizard Island now. Now, I'm not going to show you Desert Island because I think it's pretty obvious. But what I'll do is I'll just explain why it's problematic. So the problem with Desert's boss, you know, Mr. Baha or Biha, however you want to call his name, you know, he is actually a beast. He's the strongest boss currently in the game. And when he hits you, he hurts. And also he can actually drop scorps behind you. So if he drops them behind you, you can't actually, you know, fight them, right? Like, how are you supposed to kill them if they're behind you? And he can also smash you into the ground, which really displaces your character. So again, this is the problem with a lot of these bosses, is that if your character is going to get displaced, then you're moving out of reach. Plus the spawn time is so long, it's like 2 hours, that it doesn't really logically make sense to overnight him for a 2-hour kind of rate. You're only going to get him maybe like 3 times, depending on your, you know, how long you sleep, maybe 4 times. And even then, you know, by the 3rd time, it's pretty much you're a goner. You're not gonna actually be able to do it. So I'm gonna bring up my alt here, and I'm gonna just show you an example. And I'm gonna do this twice. So I'm pretty much gonna summon it first. But here's where we're gonna run. So we're gonna run right here with the wizard boss, right? So it's pretty much where this little J is inside the grass. I pretty much stand right here, and I've already done this a few times. It works really well. I don't have to move at all. I just have to make sure I get my aim correct once, and then pretty much we're just gonna set an auto clicker. And the other account here is gonna actually have a macro that all it does is it holds down the F key, and it just keeps repeating that over and over and over. Like every couple seconds, it just repeats it. All right, so I'm gonna summon him first just to get the location placed. And like I said, this is actually macroed, right? Basically just a F key press for 5 seconds. And then I put a wait in there for about, I think I put it like 10-second wait before we try it again. That way it's always trying it. And so we're gonna leave this character here, and I'm gonna actually record this account for several hours. So basically while I'm sleeping, I'm gonna be recording this. So I'm gonna edit in so you only see the parts where I actually, you know, am fighting. So if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out in this video. I'm never gonna post it. But if I do, and I do post it, it works. So this experiment is gonna be pretty interesting for me. And like I said, if it works, then awesome, because then we might be able to get a lot of scepters this way. This is completely legal, by the way. The game team is okay with this kind of stuff. It's completely legal. It's macros. Now, hacking scripts where you're actually using scripts to teleport characters around and stuff and auto farm, that's not allowed, okay? That's actually hacking. So let's go ahead and summon this guy first real quick. We're gonna run over here where the J is. Like I said, we're gonna pretty much just start hitting him. So he gave me some damage. So we're just gonna keep hitting him. The nice thing about this guy, he doesn't yeet you. He just doesn't. So we're just gonna pretty much auto click this now. I'm gonna leave it alone like that. There we go. He died. Okay, so I didn't get anything on that. And now what we're gonna do is we're pretty much gonna start the macro on my other count, and we're just gonna make sure it's an infinite loop. And here we go. Let's see if it works. Yep, sure enough. So let's just move our location just a little bit so that we're dead accurate with him, because that's where he spawns. There we go. And the nice thing about this weapon, like I said, it does heal you. So you can see we're pretty much taking him out. So I can just walk away and take off. So I'm gonna actually leave this recording just as is, and we'll see how it goes in the morning. So as you can see, it actually did work, but a couple hiccups on my macro. I woke up a couple times in the middle of the night just to check on it, and it looked like my macro was not working perfectly. So what you need to do, instead of just holding down the F key like this, so in my macro, I basically use the F key. You can see that. See, when you hold down F, it does this. What I had to do is also add a click to hold. It looked like the bind for the F key would not recognize the UI after a while. It's like after the first time, it wouldn't recognize that bind. So pretty much what I did was I included both. I include one that's a hold for the F, and then I include one that's actually a mouse hold like that. So I'm actually clicking now. I'm not using the F key. You can click it anywhere on the button. It has to be on the button, and that worked fine too. So as soon as I did that, it started working flawlessly. But you know, oddly enough, I didn't get a scepter during this run, but then I did another auto farm test, and sure enough, check this out. I got a second scepter. I actually have 2 scepters now. So at one point I dropped that on another test. I wasn't recording it, unfortunately, but I did finally get my own scepter. I'm so happy because this scepter I actually bought the first one. And then the second one here was actually from AFK farming this boss. So it actually did exactly what I was hoping it would do. It helped me get my scepter. So now I just want to explain something again, why you can't do this with a single account, okay? So you see this little dialogue here. You've got an issue here. If you wanted to actually automate this so that you can kill the boss and come back and summon him again yourself, you have to figure out the timing, right? So you have to figure out, first of all, you have to create a 45-minute plus maybe at least a 15-minute macro. And the reason is you're going to have to start here. You're going to have to summon it. You're going to have to run to a certain point that you've designated in the map. So right here. And then you're going to have to like make sure your aim is right. So you don't really want to move your camera. And then when you come back, you have to stop exactly where you started the first time. So pixel perfect. And the reason why I know this is I've actually done plenty of macro tests doing this. Otherwise, if you don't land exactly on the dot, like right there, if your foot is not exactly on that tiny little speck of dirt, when you come back, then it's going to be problematic because on the loop, you're going to eventually start coming outward. So the next time you come out, it's going to be a little further. And each time you do it, you're going to be a little further off. Now, you know, because you're probably not going to run this that often, you're only going to do it 8 times. It probably won't be that extreme. So you might actually be able to do it, you know, with some care and with the right macro tool. And you have to make sure that your mouse can still click on this after the time's up. So, you know, at the 15 minutes, maybe have it so it does this, holds the right amount of time, and then immediately runs out here, stops right here, shoots. And then you figure out the time that it takes to kill the boss, give it a little extra time. So attack a little more and give it like a full minute and then run back. And you just need to make sure you stop exactly where you started. And eventually what's going to happen though, the next time you come out here, second time, third time, fourth time, right? You're going to start sliding out. And if you slide too far away, look at, we've lost the dialogue. So you're probably gonna have to, you know, give it a nice margin. So you'll probably have to like stop right here. And so it's just a lot of work to set that up. It's very complicated. It's way easier for me because I have 2 devices. I could just do it with 1 account and not have any issues. But to record a 50-minute macro, you're pretty much in for a huge headache. But I understand that some people don't have 2 devices, especially 2 computers. I mean, that's a luxury. So I get it. And so in that case, you know, do what you need to do. You could still macro this if you wanted to. I mean, it's perfectly fine, especially if you have this. You just need to make sure you stop at the right place. Now, I did have one of my other macro tests. I did actually stop right here and it was out of range, and he can actually still kill you from a distance. So you need to make sure you get in close enough. Otherwise, your character is going to die because mine did. It was like right here and you need to be inside the grass. Okay. So you need to be inside the patch of grass, not on the J part, but inside. That's why it's ideal to have 2 separate accounts because again, on one account, all I got is an auto clicker. So, right. So if it was my phone would have an auto clicker just doing this constantly. I don't have to move my character at all. And the other character doesn't have to do much either. It just keeps repeating the same sequence and it's a little bit less error prone because of that. So again, best way to do it. Anyway, I hope this was helpful to you. If it was, please hit that like button and smash the subscribe button if you're new. And I'm just about to get set up on here because I'm going to leave this overnight again, just see how it does. I want to see if I can get another scepter. That'd be great. So thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Peace.